A big hello to everyone watching once again. Welcome back to some more City Bus Manager. And you might have noticed this time we are not in Southeast London. We're actually just in South London, more specifically, actually in Croydon. And that is because I have decided to start a brand new save where we are not continuing on with our old save in Catford Garage because I made a few mistakes in that series, few errors, ended up starting to expand in the east of London, and have found out that the way that everything was managed was very inefficient, not ideal. So I decided to start again, and I have decided also to skip the boring part of setting up the garage, building everything. Everything is here. All we have to do is now buy the buses and create our first route. So we'll go down to the marketplace. Since the last episode, which has been, way too long, I know, it's been over a month, they have released a few new buses, a few new UK buses to be specific, which is fantastic. Makes a change. Sadly, they don't have the Dart, so we can continue with this, the little bread van if we wanted, but the new Ramses over here has a capacity of 55 people, which is ideal considering the size of it. But we might start. Should we start off with some second-hand buses, or just go straight for new ones? I feel like it's ideal if we. Although in saying that, I was gonna say it's ideal to buy some new ones, but saying that this is very cheap, it has nearly 100,000 miles on the clock. Now we'll start with a couple of new Ramses buses. I'll take out a loan of 120,000. Got this. Take out that loan, then repay it back instantly. Okay, so go to the marketplace, buy 5 Ramses. Ideally not Gordon Ramsays, because I don't really want him to scream in my face. But then what's he got to do with buses? That's a good question. Get the bus painted into... Oh, it's already doing that bug. That still hasn't been fixed. Get it into London Reds. Start importing some decals. Get the Connex logo. To let everyone know, just absolutely terrible operator, cannot be relied upon. Get Connex. Get the Connex logo on the front, as they used to do. Probably should also get the their little skirt color scheme, which was blue. This is a bit more purple than blue, to be honest. It was like a dark blue with a yellow stripe on top, kind of like the Gal color scheme, except, well, actually, almost entirely like the Gal color scheme, except with blue instead of grey. Oh, is this yellow? Nope, that's more like a lime color. There we go. Get the skirt. Because again, do not want our fleet to just be running around in very boring 100% London yellow, 100 London red even, not yellow. Not yellow buses of Bournemouth, which is defunct operator now, actually, now that I think about it. Get the skirt all the way around. Try and make sure it's level. The back will be slightly higher. And get the blue. Although in saying that, I think the blue wasn't quite as bright as this, but these will be just like placeholder buses until we get our tridents. Some nice uprated tridents specifically for London. Exactly as Connex did in real life for their free route, which you can now play. Well, I say now play. You could play for a very long time and drive on OMSI. I have way too many videos on the channel actually of me driving that route. There we go, close enough. that'll have to do. Leave it as Connex in case I want to buy some more of these vehicles, which I doubt. Those come in. Fantastic. We have no staff, so go over to the staff page. Hire some more bus drivers. Get everyone here. Get a few mechanics. Get the cheapest one possible. Get some researchers again. Cheap and cheerful. And then when they start going on strike, demanding higher pay, just ignore them. Some service employees, get 2 of these because I always find it useful to just start off with more than 1. And now we can start our first bus route, which we're going to do. We're going to create the 455 because that is one of the routes. The only route that actually goes past Bedington Depot. It's also a bit of a round the houses route, but that's fine because, well, we have started. We can almost do the entire route. Yeah, not really. And then eventually we can also start doing the 109, some other routes that Abellio run, which obviously weren't actually ran by Connex in their time. They were ran by Arriva, but these are tiny little details we'll ignore because we're going to do both Connex, Travel London, and Abellio. I'm going to pull up the 455's actual route because I cannot remember it off the top of my head. As I said, this is a round the houses type of route that takes the most indirect route known to man to go from Purley to Wallington. It will probably be quicker to walk between Purley and Wallington than actually take the 455 in between these two places. So we can start off in... Should we go down to Wallington first? No, we're going to start off Bedington Asda. Take it past the sewage treatment works, which is on a tiny little side road. Don't want it to do that. Serve the main road. Serve for Rupier Lane. So around Comber Way, Bedington Lane, Rupier Lane tram depot, Rupier Lane tram stop, Bedington Farm Road, Ampere Way, Valley Park. Then it goes around Franklin Way, or does it go down Purley Way? No, it does go down to Purley Way. Okay. So it goes down to Purley Way, Bedington Farm Road. And then it used to serve Wadden Marsh tram stop, but now it doesn't do that. It just goes straight to Commerce Way. And also doesn't serve the Purley Centre. So Commerce Way, then goes down to Purley Way, Wadden Road. Hang on. Roads. Then goes down Courtney Road. Apparently doesn't serve that stop. Then Wandle Park tram stop. And then Rectory Grove. Goes around to Reeves Corner. Although, yep. Then goes around Tamworth Road, Central. Ruskin Road serves West Croydon. Although it doesn't actually serve it in this direction, serves Poplar Walk. What does it serve? No, it does actually serve... It does serve West Croydon. So pop in here, then goes... It doesn't serve Luna House, but then goes past to Whitgift Centre. And then goes down to Park Street. Goes down to the flyover. Although, obviously the game has picked up on the fact that Croydon Council are completely ridiculous when it comes to pedestrianising and, you know, turning lanes into cycle lanes, because we can't actually serve Croydon Flyover from Park Street anymore. It now has to come down... I don't even think actually even serves Croydon Flyover anymore. And if it does, it's a complete waste of time, because what they should do is just send it directly up to Coombe Road. Because what it used to do was go Park Street, come down to Croydon Flyover, then come back up to serve Coombe Road. Which I understand, to serve the, shops down on by Croydon Flyover, and also serve the North End a bit better. And also Southend a bit better, but it's just convoluted. It's not needed anymore. South Croydon Station. And then it goes Ruskin Road, South Croydon Station, except for some reason it's decided to... Okay, it's still trying to send it the wrong way, even though it should go down this road like this. Doesn't matter. And then goes up Warren Road, Brighton Road. Again, that's not... Have I done this completely wrong? Yes, I have. It doesn't actually serve South Croydon this way because this is a one-way road. South Croydon Station, then comes Warren Road, Brighton Road. Croydon Bowling Club, Bramley Hill, Whitgift Avenue, Heath Close, St Giles School, Regina Jolie School, Neverhays Drive, Blackford Close, Linscott Way, Wyvern Road, and then it will continue down to Purley Old Lodge Lane. But sadly we don't have that unlocked yet, so we're going to send it back up to Wallington. Yep, not Wallenham, which I always get the two confused. Serve Warren Road, Brighton Road, Ruskin Parade, South Croydon Station, then back round to South Croydon Station, Coombe Roads. Then it does try to serve Croydon Flyover. This makes a bit more sense. Then send it up to Park Street. Oops. Also serving Croydon Library, can't forget about that. And then around Whitgift Centre. Okay, ideally not actually like, you know, driving through Whitgift Centre itself, which again is another development that a ton of the shops inside it actually closed down in expectation for it to turn into a Westfield, which has never happened because, again, Croydon Council completely broke, don't know what they're doing half the time. Ruskin Road, Central tram stop, then Church Street's tram stop because this is a one-way system for the trams. And then after that it goes Rectory Grove, yes, like that. And then Wadden New Road, Wadden Road, Vicarage Road, Wandle Park tram stop, Courtney Road, Purley Way, Wadden Road, Commerce Way, Purley Way, Bedington Farm Roads, Ampere Way tram stop. Is there not a... Ah, yes. I forget what it does here is it pops into here, into this stop to serve that, and then comes down to Bedington Farm Road. Then Ferropia Lane tram stop, Ferropia Lane tram depot, Comber Way, Bedington Lane, Ferropia Lane. Bedington Cross, and then Bedington Cross again. Bedington Lane Sewage Treatment Works. I sort of am starting to see why the 455 is the only route to actually serve the industrial estates where the depot is located. Bedington Village, Richmond Road, Hilliers Lane, Guy Road, Church Road, The Holt, Wallington County Grammar School, Croydon Road, Wallington Green. Have I done that wrong? South Bedden? Yes, I have. As it turns out, even though this is the most direct route into Wallington, this is not the route the 455 takes. Again, I have forgotten it is the most round the houses indirect route possible. It doesn't go past Guy's Road, goes Hilliers Lane, then it goes down to Brandon Hill Cemetery, and then Garden Close. What I was thinking of was the 410. I was like, yeah, this makes sense. These stops make sense, but nope, I'm doing the 455, not the 410. Send it around Roundshaw, even. Roundshaw Phoenix Centre, the Newlands, Waterer Rise, Sandy Lane South, Stafford Road, Sandy Lane South, Milton Road, Elgin Road, Stafford Road, Woodcut Road, and then Wallington Town Centre. The 455, even though, you know, very much a round the houses, back street kind of route, sadly up for withdrawal, and also uses really, really nice, unique buses for London, E200 Optera Steams. not quite, well, East Lancasteams, the scans, which are also really nice, and some very unique buses in London when they did run on the 181. Sadly, all gone now. But yeah, no, the route up for withdrawal, which doesn't come as a shock to anybody, considering this is its route. And back up to Bedington Asda. So to go from Purley, which is down here, to Wallington here, what it does is it goes here, up to here, through here, and then cuts through here, and then terminates here. Even at the best of times, let's set it to be every half an hour for now throughout the day. The first buses tends to be at 5 from Wallington, 5:20, and then that gets to Asda for 5:30. So we'll start it at 5:30, run it half hourly throughout the day. As crazy late journeys. The last journey starts from Wallington at 11:45, so we'll emulate that, I suppose. Allow buses to change shifts so that they can go into other routes. This is nearly 2 hours for a round trip. Okay, so we have to assign these to these Connex buses. The 455 obviously now is operated by Go Ahead, but did used to be operated by Abellio, using NIM buses, which were quite fun. But the allocation for the 455 was always just, whatever ran. Sometimes you'd get the 407s, ZFE 200s, which, I'm glad to see the back of. It's just a shame that they're still at Bedington on the 201. Because I have a video of it. It's my third most popular video. Those things scream their heads off. It's good that they're semi-automatic, so driver does have some control over gear changes. It's just a shame that they scream and they're so loud and you can always hear them passing from about 6 miles away. You'll know if there's one on its way if it's allocated on the 455. Okay, that was strange. It serves this road, then it has to do a loop around. I don't quite understand why it did that, because that's not a one-way road. Bit strange. Anyway, 30 people on board, almost at capacity. At capacity, actually, correct myself. 11 people got off at West Croydon. Going through the town centre, people got off at Park Street. Skip over the entire town centre because that's just too much hassle to actually serve properly. Everyone always got off at South Croydon Station. See, this is not accurate. This 455 would be completely rammed full of school children if this was accurate, considering it's kick-out time for school. And now it's just claiming, nope, completely empty. Also slightly ironic, the 455 is 5 minutes late at Wyvern Road. But yes, no. So you'd always see strange allocations on the 455 NIM buses. You'd get the occasional Dart come on, which was allocated to the 322 when that was actually at the garage. Then you'd also have E200s off the 433 and 201 and 407 before it got ZF ones, and then you got the ZF ones off the 407 as well. Speaking of the 433, that's another route that can be recreated. But would I willingly want to do that? Yes, because it's quite a busy route in real life, so logic would dictate in this game it would be really busy, profitable as well. But then also, I don't actually have the vehicles for that, because we currently have one vehicle, one spare, just sat in the depot not doing anything. And we have a subsidy of 150% on all our ticket sales, which does seem a bit low, because other saves like Brighton and Crawley do give you about 200% of ticket revenue. But that's fine. If we look at our finance tab, losing money. We swiftly move on from the finance tab, look at our investment tab, cry even more, go to the tickets tab, realize we're making nothing, go to the loans tab, remind ourselves that we have interest to pay, and that, our company's probably going to go under very soon. get some more, research some solar buses, research fuel consumption reduction, and then think about also expanding our operations. I feel like that's something you should save for a bit later. Try concentrate on your initial square that you're given. Get some nice profitable routes going, running, and then go from there, essentially. So the next route that I have on my eyes on, that I'm thinking of, is the 109. Because it can have nice little quick dead runs from Benton all the way to Croydon Town Centre. Starts off at Catherine Street, and then it basically just follows the, what is it, A23? London Roads. Goes past Thornton Heath. It doesn't actually, goes past Thornton Heath Pond, not actually the station. Then goes up via Norbury to Brixton, which will definitely be an area we expand to eventually. And then other Abellio routes we could look at recreating and replicating. I mean, granted, again, 455 not current Abellio route, it's GAL operated. And our company is actually called Go Away London, which is doesn't make too much sense. But you know what? These are tiny little details. We can gloss over them. This depot will be like a hybrid between the Croydon Metrobus one and the Abellio Benton Lane one, which for some reason have two different names, even though they're literally like on opposite sides of the street from each other. I don't know who Go Ahead or Metrobus were trying to fool by naming their garage Croydon, even though it was in Benton. But hey, they tried it. So we watch our buses just mill about, pick up all the people. Around 9 o'clock, and there's not many souls on this 455, which again sounds about right. As I said, it's London. We run buses stupidly late, even though a large majority of the time they're not needed after, let's say, around 9. You can probably cut back quite a lot of routes and, you know, reduce duplication, because on some corridors you'll just have, you know, about 10 buses every single hour, 12 buses every single hour, even at 11 o'clock at night. Absolutely superbulous. So, no. Yes. It just excessive. And yet, people don't think of that as being a good way to save money. And hi, big hello to everyone in the chat watching. Hello to Southern Transport 466. Actually, looking at your name does remind me the 466 is a route we can replicate. And I can just claim, you know, we're doing the early or mid 2000s era of Croydon when Metrobus used to run the 466. Because obviously now it's also ran by, well, I say also is ran by Arriva, which lost its really nice allocation of E400s. So sad, replaced with kinda naff DWs. But then again, I say that the DB300s are quite nice in their own respective way. It's just a shame the 500 series ones and also some of the 300 series ones are kind of just naff. The 200 series ones, those are really nice. They sound meaty, they are meaty, they're fantastic. Great idea. Hi. Yep, so that's definitely a goal for this series, is eventually I'll recreate the 466, get that up and running here in Croydon. Also get the 407. That's another Abellio route, which TFL are looking at meddling with, splitting it in half, cutting it in Croydon, making it from a Croydon to Sutton route, then creating a new, 447, I think, down to Caterham, reducing the frequency of that to every 15 minutes. Which is just unfortunate for the Purley Roads, or Brighton Roads corridor, which is quite busy at the best of times. Okay, creating new routes. I suppose we should... I'll just start creating the 466, I feel like. Although a good question is, how will the game deal with this tram and bus only road here on Lebanon Road and Cannon Roads? Guess we'll see. And also the East Croydon bus station. So create the 466. Get that going. What's the closest point to the depot, would we say? For the shortest dead run? Maybe Croydon Flyover? I'd probably say Croydon Flyover. I think that would give a nice short dead run. Croydon Flyover, Croydon Library, doesn't go around to Park Street, goes around to Fairfield Halls. Then we go to East Croydon Bus Station, Lebanon Road Tram Stop, Cannon Road, Sanderlands, Ashburton Road, Mapledale Avenue, Birch Tree Way, Trinity School, Shirley Church Road, Shirley Windmill, Oaks Road, Pine Combe. Always says Pine Combe is such a weird way, the iBus. Combe Lane Tram Stop, Heathfield Farm, and that's as far as we can make it. So we'll turn around. Oh, it still continues down to the roundabout near Addington. My favourite DB300 is DW299 and 298. I do not have an opinion on them because I have not ridden them since they were drafted into Croydon. But my general opinion of those DWs, because those are 10 reg ones which are very similar to the 300 series, is I don't particularly like them. My favourites tend to be like the DW250, 259, 258, 260. Well, predominantly it's 259. I think 259 is a really, really nice one. Those tend to be the DWs I like the most because they have a somewhat different setup to the 10 reg ones. Yes, Pine Combe. Instead of just saying Pine Combe, it's like Pine Combe. Surf Croydon Flyover does this monstrosity. You know, I'm going to change it so it just serves Croydon Flyover here, even though the stop is up here. But Croydon Council serve Combe Roads, Aberdeen Road, Swan and Sugarloaf, although that's the 412 stop. That's the 466, 166, 60 stop. Upland Road, Hayling Park Roads, South Croydon Bus Garage. Are you familiar with the KX? Oh yes, DW 190 and 191. Yes, those are great ones. I haven't been actually in Croydon for a couple of years now, so I haven't actually experienced them recently, so I'm not sure if they've degraded, but when I was last on them, they were fantastic. They have a very similar setup to the 59 reg DWs, which are my favourites. I do like them. Purley Down Road, Purley Oak Station, Sanderstead Roads, South Croydon Bus Garage, Hayling Park Roads, Upland Roads, Swan and Sugarloaf, Combe Roads, Croydon, and then back to Croydon Flyover. So to run this every half an hour, which would be sacrilegious if you tried running the 466 at this frequency now. Sort of crazy that TfL felt the need to up the 466's frequency from every 10 minutes to every 8. I think that was a bit excessive at when they first did it, but now watching the 466, especially during school kick-out time, especially during peak hours, I think that's justified. They do seem to be pretty busy, but then you do also have, you know, a crazy frequency along Brighton roads. As a result of that, you have something like, I calculated it, I think 25 buses per hour that go between Croydon and Purley. Which is excessive, but each bus does serve its own respective, corridor, so I guess it makes sense. But between Addington Village and East Croydon, every 8 minutes is so excessive. It's not needed. Every 12 would probably justify. It would probably be just about right. And then down to Caterham, can't really comment. I last used the route down to Caterham when it was every 10 minutes, and that was during peak hours, and that wasn't that busy. It did have, I'd say, half a bus full of people. So maybe it's changed since then. The first bus on a Monday to Friday is at 5:15, and then the last bus is after midnight. It's at 12:15. That's ideal. Okay, 3 buses to do... Oh, no. Reduce it down. Be really cheeky so that it's actually... It only requires 2 buses. Fantastic. Marketplace, since we have a few extra... Some extra cash. Get 2 new buses. Repaint these into London Reds, if it would allow me. And then import in... I do have the Go-Ahead's logo. Nope. That's the Go Coach logo. That's not what I was looking for. Although it would be very interesting to see Go Coach actually operate into London. I also can't remove that. It's just placed it there. Well, this will be a fleet of buses with a defect on them. So this is Go Ahead London. Or I can also place the Metrobus logo. But you know what, I'll place the Metrobus logo since it was actually Metrobus that operated the 466 in the past. It wasn't Go Ahead, not yet. This looks more like a coach spec with the door being here and it's been actually wheel forwards. Interesting. Get Metrobus. Do we have... We do have the buses roundel. Get this on the side as well. With Metrobus, then TfL's buses. I'm not going to save this template because I have messed it up. Allocate these Metrobus branded buses onto the 466. What's the difference between every 8 and every 10 frequency? To be entirely honest, it doesn't sound like much, but it is an extra bus every single hour. So that's an entire bus full of capacity that just is sent along every hour along the route. So it doesn't seem like much, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like, was it really the demands for that? Was every single bus at, you know, a seating capacity? Was it constantly leaving people behind at every 10? I don't think so. And on top of that, it did end up requiring an extra 4 buses to up the frequency to every 8. So I do agree, on paper it doesn't seem like a lot, but in practice it is quite a lot. Especially, it's like asking, it's like thinking, you know, going from every 8 to every 6. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it is, you know, that's again another extra 2 buses an hour. I think you should change the announcements to say the next stop, like in Pine Cities. And also, yes, I do agree with you. I do also miss Metrobus in London. I genuinely have not been the same since management was brought under the Go Ahead's banner and control. Metrobus was its own beast. I mean, in some ways I am glad that they don't exist anymore because, let's be entirely honest, the operations were comical. You could find anything from a short little midi bus to one-door vehicle. You could have gotten like the R8 Mini Solo on a double-decker route, and then you could have gotten a double-decker on a little, you know, dart route. Allocations were just non-existent, but that was part of the fun, part of their charm, and also the fact towards the end you ended up seeing quite a lot of their buses just being held together by duct tape. I don't really know if that's, you know, mechanically sound, structurally sound, but, you know, I'm not a mechanic, so I guess I can't comment. Also, oh yeah, service center closed. Forgot about that's a feature of the game. Hello, Tico. Go ahead. Go backwards. Yes, they are just go away, London. Please stop expanding. You're taking over everywhere, making everything really boring. Then again, I mean, the entire London, again, the London scene is just becoming more and more dull because we're losing operators left, right, and centre. Last year, keep forgetting it's 2023, we lost a further 2 operators in the form of Tower Transit and HCT Group. And CT Plus, or HCT Group, CT Plus is what I mean. I think HA5 got the back blinds taped up. I want to throw a dart on the 75. You know what? I don't put it past Metrobus to do that. Because I know darts have been on the 119, they've been on the 202, they've been on, on the on the 261. It's actually funny. I have seen when the 358 used to have 12-meter Omni cities, those used to pretty frequently appear on the 261 and some other double-decker routes on at Metrobus's Orpington Garage. Gal ruined their fleet. Yeah, but I'd agree, but it's also like more like TfL requirements. They have decided to, well, go for the zero emissions EV only strategy, and sadly the companies, in order to make money, they have to appease TfL, so that's what they're doing. Oh, also our first rating is 5 stars from Leon Heath. The company is great. I'm glad. Just hoping you wasn't relying on the very first 455 that we sent out yesterday, because that was rammed solid. Darts on the 202 used to be a bit common. That's very true as well, actually, now that I think about it. But then again, also on the flip side, when they ran the T33, the 433 in today's money, it was very common to see double decks on the route. And also, actually, they also put double deckers on the 359, which is like complete overkill. The route recently got a frequency reduction from every hour to every hour and a half, which... Oh wait, maybe it was half hourly to every hour. I think that's actually what the frequency reduction was. But, or maybe it was every 45. I can't remember. Anyway, it got a frequency reduction, which I feel like is just TfL shooting themselves in the foot, because it was recently extended from, Selsdon to Purley. And then they're just basically admitting defeat, saying, no, the route is now just... Why did we even do that? What was the point? Let's just reduce its frequency even more. It was a really useful route to get from Addington Village to Purley. Now, if I was ever in Addington Village, it's not that useful. Waiting every 45 minutes. Ashgrove being Ashgrove, yeah. I mean, to be honest, it seems to be all the smaller operators that tend to duct tape their buses back together whenever they have like a small little collision with bumper parts falling off. But it's okay. We're here recreating that glory by sending out little, well, these would be one-door darts in real life onto the 466. I think it's stupid how they decided to go electric and we should be phasing out Euro 6 smart hybrids. I tend to agree with you, however, I'm in the mind that I feel like the entire concept of smart hybrids is stupid as well in the first place, because let's be entirely honest, they're not hybrids. They're just Euro 6 diesels with some electrical assistance to like power auxiliary controls. It just seems like a marketing gimmick to say, oh look, these are smart hybrids. Somehow they're greener than regular Euro 6 diesel. Euro 6 diesels are really clean anyway. This entire phase of like going through EVs to replace Euro 6 vehicles, I think is incredibly dumb and is something that I don't know will last. I feel like in 10 years and 15 years we might end up looking back at this period and regretting it. But that's not happening. I am somewhat confused as to what you're trying to say there, Southern Transport. Actually, some good examples of stuff like that happening is replacing hybrids with EVs on hybrid routes. I'm like, why? Hybrids are pretty clean as well. Going full zero emission, what's the point? And then then you have the argument of like, mining for the massive batteries, and then, when the buses come up to being 7 years old and then the batteries are completely dead, what do? Do you just throw them away? How are you going to replace them? Replacing them is probably going to cost more than, replacing the batteries alone will cost more than just buying a brand new bus. So there are some arguments for and against EVs. I mean, personally, I just, again, find them boring because EVs, I'm an engine man myself. I like the sounds that gearbox makes, the engines, and it's sad because EVs just don't have that same charm to me. Euro 5 buses are better, yes, they break down, not as much as Street Light and Street Decks. Look at Red and Buses fleet. EVs aren't even that sustainable because still need to make these huge batteries that may not blow up. Yeah, there is that as well. I mean, to be honest, we saw, well, I say we saw, I don't know if people in the chat have seen last year in summer when someone, I don't even know how it happened, at Potter's Bar incorrectly was charging one of the 134's Opta EVs and managed to blow it up. Set the entire thing on fire, and did you see the way that that spontaneously combusted? And it's like, yeah, batteries tend to do that, especially, you know, the ones you find in cars and in buses, because those are packing a ton of energy in a really small space. They're very flammable, and Euro 5 buses are better, yes, they break down not as much as Street Light. To be fair, I feel like a lot of modern stuff just breaks down a lot because it's a lot of software related stuff now. That tends to be the problem with modern stuff. It's just they have a lot of software bugs, glitches, and just a lot of safety features that are not really necessary. EVs are bad, they break down because they're electric, there's no diesel to make them move. Yeah, that was really bad, to be honest, yeah. And actually watching the video of that happening, it was like, holy Jesus. Now imagine one of those being set on fire by an arsonist. You know, seeing it in central London, that's... You can just imagine the destruction one of those could cause. I mean, it's not as bad as hydrogen, like, don't get me wrong. If it was a hydrogen vehicle, that would be literally a bomb on wheels. EVs are bad, they break down. I mean... I don't think that's happened yet, where an EV has run out of charge like halfway through a route, because I suspect bus companies actually do try ensure they have the range to do all shifts, and a lot of EV routes tend to be routes that run close to the garage right now anyway. So if they're low on charge, they can just pop in, swap out. But one of the big problems that we do have with EVs is the fact that they don't tend to have the range to also run into the night. So quite a lot of EV routes tend to pull out hybrids for their evening, and especially if they have like a night counterpart to the route. For the night route, they tend to pull out hybrids because the EVs do need to charge overnight. So I feel like that's another problem we might run into in future when the entire fleet is EV. It's like, well, now the night routes need their own allocation of EVs because these need to be charged during the day. So it's a bit wasteful in that sense then as well. Oh, this 466 is 15 minutes late. How have you managed this? Sounds like typical Arriva operation over here. Except we're the ones running it. Oh, we're not doing the 466 proud. Tell you that much. So our first days of operation, looking good. £4,000 revenue, £3,000 profit. Today, so far, £7,000 revenue, made £4,000 profit. Spending a lot more on bus stops. Interesting. I don't know why we spent so much on bus stops. What are we, TfL, maintaining bus stops? No, that can't be right. When zero emission buses get on fire, they put EVs on my local, which has 40 sections, but they're restricted to 35 miles per hour. Yep. Yep, that's, you know, doesn't even surprise me. Imagine an EV went on a night route and it ran out of battery in the middle of nowhere. Honestly, I could see that happening, and if that did happen, that bus will just be stranded there until it gets rescued, towed into the garage. I'd feel sorry for the poor souls that have to, like... I feel sorry for night bus drivers who have to take out EVs during the middle of the night, because I've heard they are absolutely horrible in terms of actually heating themselves up, because when the bus is off, that's it. You have no power, so there's nothing still powering. There's no residual heat. There's nothing powering the heaters, so they tend to get cold very quickly. So you have to leave them on. That drains the battery, and you know, then we run into the problems with range. And honestly, Nathan, I can't even. I'm going to be entirely honest. It's just that frustrates me when that happens. When they restrict buses to below the top, like underneath the speed limit of the route, and it's like, why have you done this? My favourite one is actually now that they're putting ISA, Intelligent Speed Assist, onto buses, which is completely useless, doesn't work half the time, gets confused easily, and is delayed. So, you know, you could be pulling out from a 20-mile-per-hour side street onto like a 50-mile-per-hour road, and it will take a solid 10 seconds for the system to recognise, oh, you're on a 50-mile-per-hour road. Okay, now the speed limit, now you can go up to 50. So you end up just doing 20 along like this higher speed limit roads. I mean, obviously, and then you also have the fact that you can't get really fast journeys like in the middle of the night when it's probably safe to do a bit faster than the actual 20-mile-per-hour speed limit on some roads. But that's an entire debate, and that goes down the debate of should you be breaking the speed limits, yada yada. But yeah, no. From 2016 to 2022, London has gone downhill like Russia's economy. I'm going to be entirely honest, the entire country has gone downhill in that time. I mean, not as bad as London in terms of the bus scene, because other parts of the country actually know what they're doing with their networks. What I like best about the Go Away London is that the buses run very frequently. This person is clearly from outside of London if she considers every half an hour to be frequent. I need to get some new buses. We have some Lion Cities, that's what we've unlocked. That's not quite the den of start. I do wish that the devs of this game would actually add some brand new single-deck UK buses, because it would be nice to have a Dart, to have E200s. Okay, maybe not E200s, but have a Dart, have, I don't know, some Wright buses. Some other vehicles. Do we have any second-hand Ramses? We do. This doesn't have any oil and it also has no tyres. I'm going to offer you 11,000. Oh, fantastic. I don't know how that managed to drive here without any tyres. Am I able to send this out? I am not able to send this out. Okay. Replacement parts, buy some tyres, and buy some oil. That's what... I also didn't set that to be delivered instantly. Well, that's a shame. But I need to wait for some buses to come back into the garage so I can send them out onto these shifts. But it's looking likely I might have to cancel these. The passenger might be from Caterham. We're worse than Russia, a country that's losing against Ukraine. Yep, that's getting into politics, which ideally I'm not going to get too into, apart from just saying, you know, Russia bad, obviously. It would be, you know, Ukraine is Ukraine. It's not Russian. Russian should leave Ukrainian space. But that's a war that's been raging on for the past nearly year now. So it doesn't look like Putin will decide to give up anytime soon. Okay, we have a bus 25 minutes late, but has actually finally arrived at the garage. We do have another one here. Connex branded. We'll pretend these are NIM buses. Send this out onto the 466. Need a couple more for the 455. It's unfortunate, I spent 19 grand buying a broken bus that I can't repair until tomorrow. Send that out onto the 455. That's a bit smelly, so get it cleaned. Do some more research, better foods. And then the network, apart from the fact that 466 is nearly half an hour. It's half an hour late, not nearly. There's no question about that one. It's an entire bus behind. Which begs the question, where actually is the bus that is supposed to be there? Oh, it's here. It's also late. With only 2 people on board, because the one that is in front is so late it's picking up everyone. And again, you know, even in this game, it recognises that the section between Addington Village and East Croydon is completely useless. Okay, I say that. to be fair, it is pretty busy up until Trinity School. That is justified. This bit afterwards doesn't justify the 466 and 130 running along it. In an ideal world, it would be cut to Trinity School, or what's this? I think this turning point is Addiscombe Road, Shirley Road, which is like the least descriptive place to terminate a bus ever. You see, if you saw that on the blinds, you'd be like, well, I don't even know where the bus is terminating. You just get on and hope it's going somewhere close to where, you need to get off. Are these roads even... Is this... Okay, so this is Shirley Road, and this is Addiscombe Road. So I suppose that makes sense. If it terminated here, Shirley Road, Addiscombe Road. But then again, that's also getting into the debate of just completely useless... blinds termination points. So I'll post some time ago that said the word leaders should just all have a fist fight instead of declaring wars. I agree as well. That would be a much better way to settle disputes if it was just like, not even a fist fight, just do like a thumb wrestle. Play rock, paper, scissors. Settle wars that way. Anyway, the network is looking pretty good. It's slowly growing. 455 quite busy, looking like we're probably going to need to buy some extra buses for it. This is a bit smelly. Our service centre is doing pretty well. And I think this would be an ideal spot to leave it for now. So I thank everyone for watching live and for watching the replay of this stream. If you enjoyed it, make sure you like, obviously subscribe, and I'll catch you again